Traoré survives another assassination attempt who's trying to kill him. On the night of January 3rd, 2026, just before midnight, a group of armed conspirators prepared to execute one of the most audacious assassination plots in recent African history. Their target? Captain Ibrahim Traoré, who has become arguably the most popular leader on the African continent. The plan was chilling in its precision. According to leaked recordings obtained by Burkina Faso's intelligence services, the assassins would strike at exactly 11 p.m. They had two options: kill Traoré at point-blank range or plant explosives at his residence. After eliminating the president, they would destroy the country's drone base to prevent any military response. Then, foreign forces would invade, but the plot failed. Burkina Faso security forces intercepted the operation in its final hours, and what happened next sent shockwaves across Africa and the Western world. This is the story of the man they keep trying to kill, and why some of the world's most powerful forces want him dead. To understand why Ibrahim Traoré has survived what some sources claim is his 23rd assassination attempt, you need to understand who he is and why he terrifies the old colonial powers. Ibrahim Traoré was born in 1988 in a small village called Kera in western Burkina Faso. He was known as a quiet but talented student. He studied geology at the University of Ouagadougou, where he joined the Marxist National Association of Students. This is where his political consciousness awakened. After graduating with honors, Traoré joined the military in 2009. He trained in Morocco and France, learning the very military tactics that Western powers hoped he would use to serve their interests. Instead, he would turn those skills against them. Traoré fought on the front lines against jihadist insurgents in northern Burkina Faso. He saw his fellow soldiers dying because they lacked basic equipment, while politicians in the capital handed out suitcases of money for bribes. He became the voice of the frustrated soldiers, the young men sent to die for a government that had abandoned them. In September 2022, Traoré led a coup against Paul-Henri Damiba, who had himself seized power just 8 months earlier. But, unlike Damiba, Traoré had a vision that went far beyond simply taking power. Within months of becoming president, Traoré did what no Burkinabe leader had dared to do in decades. He expelled French troops from Burkina Faso. He kicked out the French ambassador, he shut down French media outlets, and he made a declaration that echoed across the continent.
We have been receiving French aid for 63 years, yet our country has not developed. So cutting it off from us now will not kill us.
But Traoré didn't stop there. He began nationalizing Burkina Faso's gold mines, taking them back from Western corporations. Burkina Faso is Africa's fourth largest gold producer, producing about 100 tons worth, approximately $6 billion every year. For decades, most of that wealth flowed to European companies, while Burkinabe people remained among the poorest on earth.
Traoré established a state mining company called Sopamib and began seizing foreign mining assets. In June 2025, his government took control of 5 more gold mines from companies, including Endeavour Mining. His prime minister declared, "Our gold represents our greatest opportunity for economic resilience."
We will mine our gold ourselves, not for France, but for our people.
He then built Burkina Faso's first ever gold refinery, capable of processing 150 tons of gold annually. For the first time in history, Burkina Faso would process its own wealth instead of shipping raw materials to Europe. This is why they want him dead. But Traoré is not just transforming Burkina Faso, he's part of something bigger. In July 2024, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger formed the Alliance of Sahel States, known as the AES. All 3 countries are led by young military officers who came to power through coups and immediately expelled French forces. Together, they represent 71 million people across 2.78 million square kilometers. The AES is pursuing a shared currency to replace the CFA franc, the colonial currency that France has used to control West African economies since 1945. They are building joint military forces. They are rejecting the institutions that kept their nations poor. Thomas Sankara, the revolutionary leader of Burkina Faso, who was assassinated in 1987, once said at the Organization of African Unity Summit, "Debt is a skillfully managed reconquest of Africa." Nearly 40 years later, his spiritual successor is trying to break those chains. Traoré constantly invokes Sankara's legacy. Like Sankara, he wears military fatigues instead of expensive suits. Like Sankara, he kept his modest military salary instead of enriching himself. Like Sankara, he speaks of Pan-African unity and economic independence, and like Sankara, powerful forces want him eliminated. Let's talk about who is trying to kill Ibrahim Traoré. The January 2026 plot was allegedly masterminded by Lieutenant Colonel Paul-Henri Damiba, the man Traoré overthrew in 2022. Damiba has been living in exile in Togo, just across Burkina Faso's southern border. According to Security Minister Mahamadou Sana, Damiba has orchestrated multiple coup attempts against Traoré, all of which have failed. But Damiba is not acting alone. The Burkinabe government claims the January plot received 70 million CFA francs, approximately $125,000 from Ivory Coast. This is significant because Ivory Coast is one of France's closest allies in West Africa and hosts French military bases. Burkina Faso has repeatedly accused Ivory Coast of plotting to destabilize the country. They claim that France is using Ivorian territory to train and support groups that attack Burkina Faso. In December 2025, just weeks before the assassination attempt, something alarming happened. France, Nigeria, Ivory Coast, Ghana, and Sierra Leone sent military forces into neighboring Benin after a coup attempt there. These foreign troops, hostile to Burkina Faso and the Alliance of Sahel States, remain stationed on Burkina Faso's border.
The January 2026 assassination plot included plans for a foreign military invasion after Traoré was killed. Security Minister Sana said the conspirators planned to disable Burkina Faso's drone base to prevent the military from responding before foreign forces could enter the country.
This was not just an assassination, it was a planned regime change operation.
General Michael Langley, the commander of U.S. Africa Command, made controversial remarks in April 2025, accusing Traoré of misusing Burkina Faso's gold reserves to protect his regime.
Any leader who disrupts entrenched security, economic and political interests in the Sahel should expect pushback, sometimes violent.
The pattern is clear. Western powers and their regional allies have every reason to want Traoré gone. He has expelled their troops, he has seized their mining assets, he has inspired other African nations to do the same, and he shows no signs of stopping. What happened on the night of January 3rd shows just how close they came to succeeding and why they failed. Around 1 a.m. on January 4th, word spread on social media that a coup was underway. What happened next was remarkable. Thousands of Burkinabe citizens flooded into the streets of Ouagadougou. They gathered at squares and roundabouts across the capital, chanting slogans in support of Traoré. They declared themselves a human shield protecting their president. Videos from the night show crowds under streetlights, waving flags, singing revolutionary songs. Young people who had grown up hearing stories of Thomas Sankara now stood ready to defend his successor. The government later said that this mobilization of the people bears witness to their determination to support the irreversible march toward the liberation of Burkina Faso.
We know the risks, but the destiny of Burkina Faso is worth more than our individual lives.
This is what makes Traoré different from many African leaders. His support is not based on tribal loyalty or bought with oil money. It comes from a genuine belief among millions of Africans that he represents something new, a leader who actually fights for his people against the forces that have exploited the continent for centuries. The Institute for Security Studies described Traoré as arguably Africa's most popular, if not favorite, president. His image appears on t-shirts and murals from Ouagadougou to Johannesburg to London. When the April 2025 coup attempt was announced, thousands gathered in Burkina Faso's Nation Square in what analysts called the insurrection of consciousness. Similar demonstrations erupted in Ghana, where young people offered to volunteer to fight in defense of Traoré. In Liberia, the government had to crack down on pro-Traoré protests. This is unprecedented. When was the last time Africans in multiple countries took to the streets to defend a foreign leader? But we must also be honest about the challenges Traoré faces. His critics accuse him of authoritarian tendencies. Several journalists have been detained and forcibly conscripted into the military for criticizing the government. In September 2025, Burkina Faso criminalized homosexuality for the first time in the country's history. The jihadist insurgency continues to devastate the country. Over 2 million Burkinabe have been displaced by violence. Armed groups linked to Al-Qaeda and ISIS control significant territory in the north, and Traoré's alliance with Russia raises questions. The Wagner Group, now rebranded as Africa Corps, operates in Burkina Faso. Russia's Nord Gold Company secured a controversial mining deal involving 20 tons of gold over 8 years. Critics argue that Traoré has simply replaced one form of imperial dependence with another. These are legitimate concerns. History is full of revolutionary leaders who became the very thing they claimed to fight against. But for now, Traoré remains standing. The 23rd assassination attempt has failed like all the others before it. The question is, how long can he survive? Thomas Sankara lasted only 4 years before he was gunned down by his own deputy, Blaise Compaoré, in a coup widely believed to have been orchestrated with French support. Compaoré ruled Burkina Faso for 27 years afterward. Patrice Lumumba of Congo was assassinated with CIA and Belgian involvement just months after independence. Muammar Gaddafi of Libya was killed after NATO intervention. The list of African leaders eliminated for challenging Western interests is long and bloody. Traoré knows this history. He knows the fate of his hero, Sankara. He knows that every day he remains in power is a day borrowed against powerful enemies, and yet he persists.
From Samori Touré to Thomas Sankara, our ancestors chose resistance. Now we must choose. Either we fight for sovereignty, or we remain slaves to neocolonialism.
Whether you see Ibrahim Traoré as a liberator or an authoritarian, a visionary or a Russian puppet, one thing is undeniable. He has ignited something across Africa that will not easily be extinguished. The young people chanting his name in the streets of Ouagadougou, Accra, and Lagos are not just supporting one man. They are rejecting a system that has kept their nations poor while their resources enriched foreign powers. They are demanding what Sankara demanded nearly 40 years ago, the right to control their own destiny. The forces trying to kill Traoré will not stop. There will be more plots, more coup attempts, more destabilization efforts. The stakes are too high for them to give up. But for now, at this moment in history, Ibrahim Traoré is alive. And as long as he lives, he remains a symbol of what Africa might become. The 37-year-old captain from a small village in western Burkina Faso has become the face of African defiance, and his enemies have learned once again that killing that dream is harder than killing one man. The revolution continues. If this video opened your eyes to what's really happening in Africa, subscribe to this channel. We cover the stories the mainstream media won't tell you. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next video, and leave a comment below. Do you think Traoré can survive? Who do you think is really behind these assassination attempts? Until next time, Africa is awakening.